And there's a lot of people out there with fake lifestyle. Like, they act fake, they're fake rich, They pretend to be rich on the outside to show off to people, to make people think that they have money, but their bank accounts are empty.
That's a sad, that's a very sad predicament, because you're trying to impress people who probably don't even care about you.
You are listening to Money Matters Podcast. Step into a world full of worth and financial intelligence. Dedicated to bringing awareness, empowering the world to financial freedom and personal development.
Once again, welcome to the Money Matters Podcast. I go by the name Clever Pinero. I'm in the studio with a professional investor, Alex. And today's topic is on a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck. Are you aware that there's a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck in America, Alex?
Yes, definitely. There are more people living in paycheck to paycheck because of reasons that are known to them.
And according to the Forbes magazine, it's about 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
Well, that's a huge percentage, and I wonder why.
This number is crazy. Like, almost everybody's living paycheck to paycheck. Only a few people.
Exactly.
And when you talk to people that are living paycheck to paycheck, the reason for that lifestyle is because they don't make enough money, and their paycheck is not big enough to take care of the expenses. That's why they live in paycheck to paycheck.
And what comes to mind after I heard that is, so how much are they making that is not enough?
I mean, that's relative, because it depends on, the person's how they feel like. Because you could be making $100,000, and if your expenses are $90,000, so you're gonna feel like you need more money.
It's not what you're making. It's you not managing your funds well.
Yep, that's what it is. Because people not learning how to manage their funds, the money that they make, they don't sit down and plan how to manage it. So they find themselves living paycheck to paycheck. And you gotta wait, and that's crazy because even in America, most jobs in a month you get 2 paychecks.
Exactly, and like the saying goes, one shall cut their coat according to their size. So if you're not cutting your coat according to your size, it does not matter how much money you're making. You're always going to be falling behind because you're always cutting your coat way bigger than your size, and at the end of the day, your material is not going to be enough because it's way above or more than bigger than your size.
And in the American society, there's so much going on that could be factoring into the reason why a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck, because we getting bombarded with a lot of advertisements all over the place, on your TV, your radio, on the internet, on your computers, cell phones, newspapers, magazines, like everywhere is advertisements of products and stuff like that. Even on certain occasions like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, every occasion basically. There's constant sales going on, new stuff coming up, new clothes, new cars, new everything.
That is so true, because all these companies out there, their goal is to make money. So they have high paid professionals sitting somewhere planning how they will get you to spend the little money that you have. So there are people, psychologists and, advertising professionals trying to see how can we possibly get these people to buy into promotional messages and information and get it to them, to get them to pay attention to what we are sending out to them. So it's up to you to sit down and plan critically as to what you should spend your money on and what you shouldn't, what you need and what you don't, and what you could live without and what you shouldn't. So
also there's easy access to loans now and credit cards. Credit cards for the most part, because sometimes you get credit cards in the mail that you didn't even apply for.
Exactly.
And once you start using it, it becomes easy. You could buy whatever you want, and the bills comes at the end of the month, and you feel like you'll be able to pay for it at the end of the month. So if the end of the month comes and you don't have it, you could always postpone it, and nobody's going to be forcing you to pay it off. The credit card company is going to ask you to pay as little money as possible so you could keep owing them. And a lot of people are not smart to figure it out that once you use a credit card, you should pay it off.
That's the problem, because the more you spend, the more money these credit card companies are making. So their goal is to get you to spend. Their goal is to get you to sign up for new cards and stuff like that. So as they're bombarding you with these cards, it's up to you to sit back and say, hey, I already have one or two, and that should be enough. And that should be only used in emergencies, or it should be used in times that you know you really got the money to pay for these things. Because remember, it's never free. And the more you use, the more it's going to cost you to use them, because you're paying interest on these things. So it feels good, and it's easier because it's just right there. You swipe and you go. Sometimes you even scan and you go. So most people don't think twice about these things. But the more you are swiping and the more you are scanning, the more you are paying, the more money that's coming out of your pocket. Because if you use a credit card and you're not careful, you are paying more than what if you would have used cash, to pay for whatever that you're purchasing. So it's something that you should really think twice about before you swipe that thing. Once you don't have the money there, if you don't have the money there, because now you're spending $15 and it's going to probably end up costing you $17, $18 because of the interest that's going to be added to it. So if you don't want to be paying all these $2, $3 extras, then you have to have the cash to pay for what you need. If you can't afford that with cash at that point, that means you probably can't afford that at that very moment, and you shouldn't spend on that or think twice about that.
And if you feel like you need to make more money to get out of living paycheck to paycheck, you could be wrong too, because if you cannot manage the small money that you have, it's not guaranteed that you'll be able to manage more money, because you can't manage the small money you have. What tells me that you'll be able to manage a lot of money?
That's a problem. The more people make, the more they spend. If you make $50 today, by God's grace, you get a raise up to probably $70 or to $100. You will automatically expand your expenses to kind of reflect the amount of money that you're making.
Right.
If you're driving a no-name car, now you want a luxury car, then that luxury car comes with more monthly payments. You're going to be paying more in maintenance costs.
True.
And all these other things, all these factors must be considered. So if you're not making enough, you don't think you make enough, that's why you're always falling behind your expenses, you have to probably consider managing your expenses well. Actually separating your needs from your wants. You know what I'm saying? Cutting certain costs. Because there's no guarantee that once you start making more money, you wouldn't go spend more and you'd be able to save. If you're able to save $5 from the $50 you're making, you would definitely be able to save $20, $30 if you get a raise to $100. So it's more about managing what you have than just go try to make more money, because the more money you make, the more you be tempted to spend more.
And there's a lot of people out there with fake lifestyle. Like, they act fake, they're fake rich, They pretend to be rich on the outside to show off to people, to make people think that they have money, but their bank accounts are empty.
That's that's a very sad predicament, because you're trying to impress people who probably don't even care about you.
And you're going to need credit cards and loans to support your expensive lifestyle, Your cars that you buy and that you can't afford, you find yourself getting loans to pay for the car. Or even you find yourself getting a loan to pay for a credit card, which is very dumb, because you're going to get a loan that you have to pay for the loan to pay a credit card. It doesn't make any sense.
No, not at all.
That's how a lot of people find themselves into. They buy all these expensive stuff to impress people who don't care about them.
Exactly.
And they wind up, taking loans and credit cards to support it. So that's a huge part, because there's a lot of people that live that kind of lifestyle. All these people that you see out there with fancy stuff, nice clothes and stuff like that. Not all of them. Some of them are rich, but not all of them are rich like that. Majority of them, they're just basically pretending to be rich. That's what we call fake rich.
At the end of the day, you should be able to look at your bank account and be happy. That alone should make you excited and glad that your bank account is this big, or that that heavy. But if your bank account is real dry, but then you use a credit card or borrow money to go buy expensive clothes or drive a very expensive car for people to think that you're probably you have arrived. You know what I'm saying? You are living the life. You've made it. All right. But then deep down, when you come home or you hit the ATM or go to the bank and get a balance of your bank account, you know exactly how much you have. So who are you?
Basically, they're living beyond their means. Basically, these people are living beyond their means, and until they realize these things, it's gonna be tough because you could be living on paycheck to paycheck forever. Because it looks like the system out here in America kind of supports that lifestyle too. Because even if you work and Thanksgiving is coming up and you get paid on Fridays. You might, and Thanksgiving is on like Wednesday. You might get your check on Tuesday.
Exactly.
So they know
that Black Friday is going to be coming up, and they need to get your money to your hands, so you will go out there and spend money. These are so you have to understand the system in which you live, and you have to know how these guys. These guys are very smart. Everything they do revolves around you spending or giving the little that you have. So it's up to you and you alone to figure out a way. All right, to protect the little that you get your hands on. Because at the end of the day, if you keep spending, you're going to have nothing left.
True.
And sometimes you're going to even run out to the point where you're going to have to resort to a credit card or a loan. All right. And once you start doing that, the interests are going to be compounding so fast that by the time you realize you're probably going to have to file for Chapter 11 or whatever that is.
You're going to file for bankruptcy or something.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, what was the point of your showing off?
Yeah, it's just crazy. But if somebody's under this condition, how can we help them out? Like, how can they get out of living paycheck to paycheck?
All right. First of all, you need to start budgeting for your expenses and your income. Know exactly how much you make, and you should be able to differentiate between your needs and your wants.
Right.
And start cutting some cost.
So basically, you got to track your expenses. You got to know how much money you're making. You got to minus the expenses from your income that's coming in. Whatever's left, you got to plan with it. And if whatever's left you think is too little, then you have two options: to make more money or to cut your expenses a little. There's certain things that you might have to get rid of. You might have to get rid of your cable. You might have to get rid of your car, get a cheaper car. You might have to not even drive at all, depending on, where you live and everything. You might have to get a cheaper cell phone plan, or you might have to cut off the internet. You might have to, maybe reduce the amount of time you eat and all that stuff. Now, you got to find ways to cut expenses. Maybe the store that you shop in is too expensive. You might have to go to a store where you could buy, quality but cheaper stuff. There are many ways to cut expenses. So those will be the two options: to find a way to make more money or to cut your expenses.
Yes. All right. Okay. Or you can also increase your income. If there is a way for you to start making more money, you should look into it and get out of the idea that I'm making more money, so I should spend more. No, the goal is to start, saving money towards the times of emergencies and stuff like that. Because if you have no emergency fund, as they call emergency funds, are pretty much money set aside for emergencies. This is not your day-to-day spendings. You have to have something on the side, because who knows what might happen tomorrow. No one knows. So you should always provide for these unexpected incidences. So you should have an emergency fund set aside. So with that being there, when something happens, you are not going to be falling on your credit cards. You're not going to be calling those that asking them for loans and stuff like that. And we should also change our attitude, have a different attitude towards money. We should always know how much exactly we have and how much we want to spend. All right. Somebody said all these stores have the shopping carts and stuff like that. The shopping cart is so big that you will start throwing things into it. You just, whatever that you think you need, you just keep. By the time you get to the cashier's desk, that thing might be full, and everything in there is going to be paid for. And since that thing was so big, you just kept throwing things into it, and now it's full, and you're paying for everything that's in there. Do you really need everything that's in there at that point?
Nah,
So me personally, sometimes when I go to stores, I don't grab those things. I just grab whatever that I need, and I carry them in my hands. So whenever my hands gets filled up, I know that, because there are certain things that I see. Oh, I think I need this. I think I want this, not need that, because I'm in there for what I need. I grab them, and I know I can carry these. I know. Then you come up on something. Oh, this looks nice. This is something that you didn't budget for. This is something that you didn't plan for. You just got there. And these guys are so smart that all their stuff in that store are arranged in such a way that once you come to a certain point, you will see certain things. And once you see them, then you start thinking, contemplating. Oh, do I need this? Do I have to get that? And next thing you know, I have $1 or $2 or $3 or whatever here. So why not grab it? It looks nice. It would probably feels good to have this. So, but if you go in there knowing exactly what you want and what you're going to grab, you grab these things, make a list before you go into these things. So everything that's on the list, that's what you know you need. You're not going to be there doing any impulse buying and stuff like that.
And also, people need to learn to pay themselves first. Once you get paid, you pay yourself first before you pay all the other bills. The bills that you can't afford, that bill can wait. You're the one doing the job. You put your life, your energy, your sweat, blood and sweat on the line. You have to pay yourself first. You don't pay the bills, your Con Edison company or your cable company before you pay yourself. Pay yourself first and find a way to deal with them.
Yes.
And you save that money. Make sure you save it, and you will never find yourself living paycheck to paycheck again.
Definitely. And paying yourself is not going to the store to go buy something for yourself to make you feel good. No, it's actually putting money to the side for you, for the job, that the hours that you put in and everything. We are not meant to just go to work every day, make money and go pay bills. You should be able to put a little to the side every now and then, because at the end of the day, if you have nothing put to the side or you don't save anything, then that means you're going to have to keep working every day to eat. All right. Because it's going to be a cycle. You go, you work, you make money, you come, you pay the bills, the money dries dry, and you go back to do the same thing, make it again. And you're going to be in that cycle until you end that cycle. You're going to have to keep working every day.
Yep. So these are the tips to help you get out of living paycheck to paycheck. It's a bad habit. Well, you want to make sure you don't find yourself in this situation. And if you follow some of these tips, you'll be able to get out if you're already in there too. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you very much. This is the Money Matters podcast. Please subscribe, like, share, comment. We'll talk to you some other day.
Yup. Let's keep listening and growing and start putting these things into use. And next thing you know, we will all grow together. So that's the plan. Let's all get the information, share the information, and grow together. Thank you guys.
That's all for today. Until we meet again next time, never stop learning. Thank you for listening. Subscribe to our channel. Email us at themoneymatterspodcast@gmail.com.